desk, of course, and as you've mentioned, it's a beautiful Sunday right here. I mean, we can all watch great CS while it's sunny. Everything looks great. You know, you have the right temperature. Just sit inside, close all your windows, make it dark, and watch some Asian CS. So, let's take a look at that. But first of all, Tom, how are you doing today?
Yeah, not bad. A little bit hot here myself as well, and yeah, looking forward to this game. I mean, Signature versus NXL. We heard their predictions. I mean, what are your thoughts? I think NXL might be able to take it.
I personally am not that kind of fan of that idea, because NXL is really that kind of powerhouse when it comes to creating new talents in the Asian scene, but the team itself is just not that consistent and not that good, and this is where I think Signature will just snatch both maps, go home quickly, you know, and enjoy the rest of this Sunday. But here comes already more. We find that frag onto Rolex. The clock is ticking down more likely, and there's Genius with two good frags. SDK gets another one, and now SDK? What? Does he realize that? Oh no, he doesn't. That's also a way to do it. And Signature picking the first. Well, NXL, yeah. It looked good in the beginning with that entry frag, but
yeah,
that's not everything, right?
Yeah, no, that's not all she wrote. So you're actually going to be able to take it around. So first round, I'm going to be going over towards Signature here, Vincent, and it's not too bad. I mean, 3 kills for SDK. It was actually on point there. Well, look, would like to point out, it seems like Genius has a pretty high ping. I'm not sure if that's real or not. Might be a little bit of a misinterpretation on the server side, but nonetheless, we're going to have the P250s come out, and these guns are so dangerous here. I mean, they're so overpowered. It's like the BOP.
Yeah, and you know, that close range here in Nuke, it can become very lethal, taking that force buy in just a matter of seconds. But as we see at NXL, they're not even going for the armor. That is kind of unusual, right? Because you usually expect when they would have had that bomb plant, then they go for that kind of eco-style setup. But that is not the case. That is the very interesting thing. We see them on average 1.5k, and for some reason they decide, nah, we're just playing pistols and no armor, no utility. It's a really risky approach, but Signature, they can definitely benefit from that, because those should be easy frags, right? Those should be some snacks you'll be finding just at the beginning of the day. And Signature, as they do it, they know the pistols are there, so no unnecessary aggression, because it becomes lethal. One-shot headshot in close range, P250, too damn dangerous for that.
Yeah, it seems like they are together to take down 2 players. That's actually a really good result for the T's, but Rolex is here to clean up. He's counting the time, and he's also counting the bodies, so he's going to be able to pick up the final kill on towards Mark. So like you said, it should be pretty easy kills, but that's still quite good economic damage taking down Geeks and SDK, meaning they're going to have to rebuy Volley, but it does mean Geeks can just buy up upgrades straight away, rather. SDK going to stick with that EMP, might have been sort of nerfed a little bit, but it's not enough. Still going to be a really decent weapon to use.
It still feels very old, actually. It doesn't feel really changed when I played, you know, it just is that kind of lethal weapon you can use at close range in some kind of anti-ecos or so on, and that buy from NXL is just more and more confusing. Once more they go for the pistols, they have now average 2.4, and that works out more than well in the next one. But that no force didn't really make sense to me. But right now, take a look. Gigs, yeah, logically easy frag there onto Mark, and now the rest should just come in a matter of seconds. Rolex, yeah, oh, nice one. That's a good flick there onto both of them.
I'm not surprised he's got a good rotation there, being watchable. But I think in regards to the sort of statement on this round, I think it's due to the fact that they want to have a very strong buy. They want to have that AWP for next round. Final kill should come out. Nice headshot went out from DDR, but we should see the AWPs coming out in force. If I see an auto sniper, I would.
No, that would.
But
even be unusual.
Look at their body. It's not. Yeah,
it was possible, but why would you go for an auto sniper? It's like one of the worst. Everyone buys auto snipers when it's 15-0 or when you're in overtime, and for some reason, auto snipers always work in overtime. They always do work in overtime, though they would have regular playtime, the money to do so sometimes. This is where it gets a little bit awkward with players, but you know, we're seeing now, as I mentioned, NXL, they're getting all the utility and all the guns they need to on the boards. Tor did not upgrade to an op. This is kind of the risky decision there for outside, because finding those frags with a scout is logically way harder than finding some frags with that AWP. Now the spray through this one works out fine for Saifong. That is Jigs having not the slightest bit of a chance, and that is the man advantage now put onto NXL. But 2 players from the Indonesian side suffer a good amount of damage onto themselves, and this is where it could get very advantageous for Signature.
Yeah, but now SDK going to get taken down along with Rolex Genius. And TDR going to be left in a 2-3 situation, but the heads are going to get smashed as well, as Marxy's going to be able to take down Genius. And TDR to try and close this out, and considering he's such a bad position, not even got an AWP, but he's going to hit the headshots nonetheless. Good amount of economic damage done to the T side, but both sides are going to have to buy up a lot of guns here.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing at the end was that the scout could have just made all the body shots because everyone was just shut down to something like 60 HP or 20 HP, so no problem to take them out in one shot. But now we see finally Torin the op makes the decision to just go for it instead of the scout like last time. It's just this risky kind of idea to not upgrade due to the reason I want to save money. But yeah, as we see, NXL, they can come up with pretty much everything once more, except that Soifong goes for that Galil. And as we know, the Galil is actually not that much of an underestimated weapon. It's more good than many people expect, but it's just a little AK, and this is not the expectations living up. Now going into Secret, there's a lot of control already taken by NXL, and now they have so many options to go for. Do they go up vent? Do they go there onto the B side? But first, there's one obstacle, and that is Rolex, who will make the hotline a little bit harder, but yeah, Forged is too fast for him.
Yeah, now they're going to break these windows as well. Going to be able to get down on towards the B side. Once they can get the bomb down, very interesting. But look at this. Gate's going up behind them. Going to be able to take down two of them. Going for a third. Going to get taken down by Mursky, though. Not quite going to be able to close that one down. Genius going to be coming in from ramp. Going to get taken down by Soifing, though. SDK looking in for that kill. Taps away. Doing a lot of damage here, Vincent. A little bit too much for him. Should really come out.
And this is where the flame actually works out perfectly. Mark makes his way back into the vents. With the 50 seconds left, he could get a moment of surprise, but now already positioned given away. And that bomb is going to be planted. While Signature guys, majorly they have no utility. They only have some flashbangs. They can't go for some sneaky kind of play. And now Tor needs to show what he's able to do with that op. And that is horrible right now for Mursky. That whiff should have never happened. That should have been his frag. And now that retake, it's going to get complicated. It's going to get really, really hard, especially as STK. He keeps a big amount of distance between him and that side, and that logically costs a lot of time right now.
Yeah, we should be seeing the push come in. SDK is going to get taken down, so that should be a good, like, a round in the bag here for Mark to be able to watch this out. He's going to peek around the corner. TDR! He knew where he was. He still misses the chance to actually go for the shot. That is not good news for these guys. We are going to be seeing the tech pause come out from Signature. They have a few issues. I think it's going to be the ping on Genius, who's got currently 211, but still 3 kills.
Isn't it Tor? Because is that a D or for me it looks like an O.
I think it's probably the package I've got that shows this. Like,
okay, yeah, I just was confused. Like it looks like Tor. Maybe he's some kind of Scandinavian, Asian god we just don't know about. The mythology, you know, it gets strange. But Rolex pushes here through, gets a little bit of damage. Exactly 1 HP onto Mark. Yeah, and then logically, what shall you do? You can only push. There's not many options you have with the pistols. Could try to go for close range frags, but the AK is just too strong in such situations. And Forged, not even the slightest bit of a problem to pick up another one. And yeah, all running in, but only pistols, right? Only ZZ. What shall you do? And best flash of Forged.
Still not a massively quick round coming out. I mean, 3 players down. We're going to be seeing at least like the coming from above. Yeah, just snack away onto gigs. It's all like that sort of second round you talk about something about that is really just sort of kind of snack round for these guys to be able to take down these last few players.
And as you mentioned, right now we're going for some tech pause. We should be going for the tech pause right now at least. And while that is the case, we can talk about that. Yeah, there we are, where we have the tech pause. And you might ask yourself, where have you actually landed, right? You see, it's 10 in the morning. Some people should actually just come home from the clubs they were visiting, come home from all the bars they were getting wasted at. But it's 10 a.m. here, at least in Germany. And, you know, Razer Rising Stars Southeast Asia League is just about that kind of classic style of a group stage. And Rekka right now is leading from 7 matches, getting 6 victories. And this team that actually... out of this team, one of the best players in the Asian scene came out, Bennett, right? And he's one of those Indonesian legends and Indonesian kind of professionals on every basis. He's so strong about it. He's so well talented. And at this point, I just think that maybe this is actually this powerhouse, right? You have the classic thing also in the European scene going on when you have the Danish scene, you have Singularity, then there you have player in Tricked. And for example, good example there is Yugi. He was in Tricked back in the day, now he's in Heroic, so it's always that ladder you're climbing up. And same went there for Ricky, because the team is just going up and up and up, and NXL is just the first basis of young talent in the Asian scene. And we're still having that tech boss, and I don't know about you, Tom, a 3-3 scoreline is quite decent regarding what they're having on the board, but the options are getting a little bit minimalized for Signature if they're losing this one as well.
Yeah, just a check. Is my microphone all good?
I have to say, you sound like you're from some kind of robot factory. You know, you sound like you want to take over the world just a second. So, I mean, Tom is trying to fix his inner brain CPU, you know, getting all set into his own kind of, you know, let's say, mechanic brain. He's a cyborg caster, because right now, what is a thing in the esports scene? Casters are a resource that gets exhausted so easily. Casters are just, you know, down the drain all the time. Oh, I have to do this flight and this flight. I'm jet lagged. How can I even work? And this is why people in companies like ESL and ECA came up with cyborg casters, because cyborg casters are way more efficient. They need less sleep, but they're still human, right? They can still understand. And because of the great stats that are provided on HLTV, you don't need to know many things. You only need to know, okay, I have those stats. Now I can talk about it. And further on, I know this and this and this. And then I just use, you know, human sentences like, I can't believe it. What is happening? How is that just possible? And that all together summarized is a cyborg caster. So if you want to buy a cyborg caster, feel free to contact the guys from E-Frag. They exactly know how to get a cyborg caster. But to get back to our game, yeah, Signature and NXL still taking a long technical break as one of the Signature guys is missing out. And in round number 7, that break seems to be necessary at this point in time at the Razer Rising Stars Southeast Europe League. And personally, this looks like not that start we would expect from Signature, because this team is really decent. I mean, Signature in the past, they have beaten not the worst teams regarding the entire Oceania, Asian region, and they were less successful there at the PGL Minor Krakow, Asia Minor Krakow, where they actually lost against Renegades in their last game, which is quite unfortunate, but they still put up a great fight in that battle. So, we're still for the tech break, and Tom, Major Tom, are you with me?
Major Tom's a studio. Hello.
There you are. Perfect. I talked about how you being a cyborg caster, but no one really liked the idea, to be honest.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Yeah, but I think you have to do, like, you have to leak it at some point. You have to just tell the people the truth, that people like Anders, Sander, Sadokist, so on, they're cyborgs. And
so you're the Snowden of the casting world. Okay, cool.
No, do you know that movie with how is it? I Am Robot. Do you know that one? Yeah. It's pretty much like that, just with casters. Because they take over and they can't live in harmony together, and somehow it all fixes for some reason.
Yeah. What I was going to comment on, I'm not sure if you brought it up or not, is the idea that NXL being obviously the starter for a lot of the players, but
yeah, I've said that.
Kind of similar. So you've sort of commented on Epsilon and sort of big on that front.
Yeah,
so I do like that sort of part of it, but also the fact that big are really smashing it out at the moment.
Yeah, I like the idea of these levels. You know, I really love the idea when teams have that kind of different, when regions have that kind of different teams to come up and up and up. We've seen that already in the European region. For example, the recent one is Yugi. Then you also have Cosmin, who just joined Epsilon. That is the Romanian guy who just insanely performed there in the East European region. Now he steps up for Epsilon in that international roster. And once more, I think what I love about the style here is that it's a really football-like style, because you have draws, you have wins, you have loss, and this is what makes it so fun to me to watch, because you have a best of 2 and it can be a tie, and that's fine. Both teams did well in each map, but I just miss out sometimes the real long-term the long-term competition in such things, because ties make it sometimes also kind of awkward.
Well, yeah, because it's always easier for, especially viewers, to be able to define the who's a winner, who's not a winner.
Yeah. And a tie is just, tie is just not satisfying. It's just like, it's like an I guess. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, we tied, I guess. So it's unfortunate on the one hand, but yeah, I just have that feeling that it could go way differently today here for Signature, because I just have that feeling they're taking this. NXL is not such a long-formed lineup the way they are, while Signature can come up with more type of things. So I just feel, and what I really love about NXL is, I don't know if you paid attention to that, but the profile pictures they have, this is one of the best Photoshop art I've seen in a while. This is top-notch.
Well, in detailed on the people who are supporting them there. Fair enough. But why is it the best, Vincent? Explain.
I explain you, because it's just basically one plain color and every sponsor put underneath and the Indonesia flag above. I just somehow love it. It's so simplistic, basic, and kind of bad that it really has style again. You know, bad taste kind of things that are actually good. Like it's like how can I explain? Flip-flops with socks, right? They're horrible, actually.
That's the best thing.
They're convenient. This is the first thing. Like, you have a lot of space with your feet. You can move around, and you're not getting cold because of your socks. You know, it's a German thing to do so for some reason, but
it's a British thing as well.
It's a British thing.
Yeah.
People always tell us that it's a German thing. I think our government is trying to, you know, put propaganda onto us, you know, just saying we're the only country with flip-flops and socks. So.
All right, Snowden, calm down.
But the thing is, you Brits have the issue that you're always getting red in the sun. That, you know, we don't do that. We don't do that kind of stuff. We're not into that. We'd rather get brown or some kind of things, but
we're pommies for a reason. We just burn up. That's exactly what I do anyway, and it is really hot at the moment. I think it's supposed to go up to 27 degrees today here in the UK, whereabouts on base, so it's going to be pretty sweaty weather, to say the least. Luckily, I've got AC, but
don't go outside, otherwise you'll get red. You know, it's not what we want, because every time you'll touch yourself during casting, I'll always hear you just like, fuck. Oh, sorry. I will hear you always having pain, you know, and just going for that, and that is not. Stay inside, Tom. I recommend you to stay inside, because otherwise it might get, you know, awkward for you. You know, when you're on webcam, maybe then it get even worse. So.
Well, let's not talk about like my late night webcam sessions, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
But talking about outside. We have seen a bit of control from the T side, a bit stronger outside, over towards Catwalk and over towards the outside area. And it's not really been fully controlled. Obviously, it's still early on, only going into the 7th round. Once the restart comes out, I think, for the round restart, potentially just to replay that one as well. I wasn't sure. I'm waiting for some information to come through. But I think Tor needs to be a little bit stronger with his AWP rather than the scout that he's been trying to use as well.
Yeah, I see your point, because outside control is the first thing. It is so mandatory, because it feels a little bit from the openness and from all the availability you have, it feels a little bit like mid on Mirage. And that mid on Mirage is so important to take. And if you don't do so with outsides there on Nuke, you have a key issue, because you leave them so many options. They can come in from main, they can sneak outside back to Heaven, they can also take Secret as an option, they can take every kind of possibility to get onto your team so easily and so quickly. So outside player is one of the key kind of guys and one of the key kind of roles you have to take. And op, logically, one of the most important things there.
Yeah, so restart is coming in, guys. So you'll be looking at the standings at the moment. The fact that the Mongoloids are actually at the top at the moment with 9 GP at the moment. Wins 6. Not that bad. And then Rekka are going to be on 7 at the moment. Signature not too far behind, actually going to be on 8, with Mineski rather on 8 as well. So it's quite an interesting scoreline across these sort of teams all the way down to Titans. Yeah, not sort of an order that, so that's fine. We're going to got points 20 on Mongols though.
Mongols is leading, because HLTV says otherwise. HLTV says Rekka is leading there actually. Ooh. I don't know who should I trust. I probably trust logically E-Frag, because everything else wouldn't really make sense. But what is kind of confusing me, right? When you're having played 9 matches and you have 6 victories like the team underneath you, they have 2 draws, they have 2 ties. Okay, I'm not going to say anything anymore. My brain didn't work for a second. But yeah, Rekka have way more chances to come up with a really good buffer of points, because they have, like mentioned, only 7 matches played, not like Mongols with 9. So intentionally they have 2 more to go for to just actually achieve a maximum of 6 points. And, 6 points, like 8 victories out of 9 matches is more than decent. You don't really need more than that.
Indeed. So it's back up and running though, Vincent. So we should be back in soon, and the people can start to fulfill their addiction to watching some CS:GO. And I did that the other night. Did you happen to watch Clash?
I tell you one thing, I didn't, and you know why? I tell you why. The reason is, every time Virtus.pro starts talking like they're going to perform good, they're going to do great, they don't. They just basically don't. And we've seen that. They took the first map, fine, yeah, great, super. And the rest, I think it was 16-4 on one and 16-5 on the other. And that's just kind of embarrassing. I'll be honest with you, Virtus.pro is one of the top teams internationally, but I think it is like that NIP kind of stuff that might be going on. Never disband until at certain moments you have to. And I personally feel, and I've talked to a Polish caster back in the day, and Virtus.pro is just a kind of team. It's a brand. Those 5 guys, they're a brand. They're representing the big CSGO friendship, playing there for more than 10 years. They're all some great family, but that doesn't help you when you don't perform. And you can't just say it's Virtus.pro online. It's Virtus.pro in a best of 3 offline in a great studio for a great amount of money. So I'm most likely excited for Krakow because it's their home crowd. But if they don't perform there, and if they even, and I don't want to jinx it, I like the Virtus.pro lineup, but if they even don't go out of the group stage, which is hard to imagine, then I cannot imagine this team staying in the lineup they are. And then you have to adapt, and then you have to come up with something.
Yeah, because they've been going through quite a few different dry spells at the moment. It's been very much back and forth over the last sort of 2 years since they've really had proper continual, and they keep coming back with a few wins here and there, but categorically online, they're much worse than they are.
God, Virtus.pro Online is the most horrific thing I could ever imagine. This is Virtus.pro Online. I mean, when people bet on Virtus.pro Online, I'm always asking myself why, how, and why don't you put your money directly down the toilets? Because it is always a little bit of it is not worth spending the money onto that. Because also it's the same with Flipside Online. Flipside Online loses against UK teams. I'm sorry, Tom. It loses against UK teams with stand-ins and new additions, and I'm always asking myself, they're top-notch players. They have experience back from 1.6. How is it possible you're losing against such kind of teams? So, yeah, I just feel it's a little bit awkward, and what I would really like to see is Flipside stepping up again. But the kind of development we're seeing recently is just too much with surprises. But Astralis, I mean, them not winning the major is hard to imagine. FaZe has to come up with something really, really big. But as we're talking about it, we should be back in a second. The next round should be just restarted. We're just waiting for that to happen because we're logically not going into...
Yeah, I think we should be... Yeah, the round restart's coming in. The money is going to be sorted, and we should be going live? Maybe not? Not really. It's kind of live, but it's also... Yeah, there we are. Perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. Yeah.
There was a big scream coming through the halls of Nuke. And now as we're back to it, Signature can come up with that buy, but they're pretty much on the brink. With that, we see no kit so far. And Tor is the last one. I think one of the players having... that kit is really important, but Tor goes for it, but he takes a glass cannon, and that is quite surprising to me. I mean, that you don't take the armor, of course you don't have the money, but the kit then is that kind of weird addition. We're going to find out how Tor will perform, but he needs to step up right now outside. As mentioned, crucial spot, so important to take, and NXL comes outside there with 2 players, and Forged is one of them. Now, Tor, show us what you got.
Yeah, they are going to go for that interesting boost straight away, though, from the NXL side to try and counter Signature's AWP. Genius going to be down over towards Tramp, trying to spray away the pain. That is Alicia, who's waiting to push through, or less rather. So, Tease did play a little bit aggressive here, but at the same time, not over-aggressive. They try to gain as much ground as they can without playing too dangerously. Now they're going to be looking to make the entrance in towards the A side. Mark is going to take down Giggs. That is a very nice kill. Unstable. The CT sort of position on the map here, Vincent. Now they're going to have to try and figure out where do they go. Tor,
Yeah.
he's going to be rotating.
Yeah, those 60 seconds don't make it that easy right here for NXL, but I mean, you still have a lot of options left. You can go here, you can go there. And with that being said, we're finding Tor, who takes aggression, but Alessa comes back and finds, you might be taking down one of my friends, but nothing else. And this is how Genius now approaches this. Has a really interesting angle. And Alessa keeps it. Alessa keeps his patience. And now it should be him finding that frag. Yes, Genius a little bit too aggressive in this one. And now 35 seconds more. Also there to find the frags. And only the great watch himself, Rolex, against 3 other Indonesian guys. And he can put a lot of time pressure onto it, but it should not be possible that he denies the plan in it. As I'm saying it, Alessa finds Rolex. And now NXL goes for the lead.
I'm not sure if you saw that, but Forge actually had the bomb down onto the B site all alone, whilst his teammates were above, and they actually lost the AWP in that round. So that was a big money loss for NXL, but luckily for them, they are going to be able to farm up some extra cash. It's going to be Mursky with the UMP here to try and finish off these CTs, who have actually got quite a bit invested into this round, even though it is a partial round. We're going to be seeing 4 CZs and 5-7 on SDK. It was interesting to see the different players with the choices of the 5-7 or the CZ. Mursky, out of his team, he's the only one who's the 5-7 kind of guy. Outside,
It's just so hard to always come up like with what pistol is better, but in the pro majority it's a ZZ, and I don't understand why. I hate this pistol. It's the most horrific spray and pray kind of experience I've ever had, but I'm just too bad for it probably. So them using that ZZ is a very understandable decision, and finding those frags with those guns should be possible, but no, Tor, where's the concentration we needed? Because there he gets taken down, attacked from both sides, but still, there's Jigs to find any kind of refrag. Puts it back into a 4v4, and those close-range pistols can be so lethal. Come around the corner, and welcome to the headshot show of Signature, but first of all, this needs to happen, and yeah, that is too aggressive for Rolex. You're right, the idea is there, but no, also no chance for SDK. In a matter of seconds, the Indonesians are taking it home. 5-3, 2-point lead, and now Signature can once more buy up.
Yeah, it's quite a nice round from NXL. No AWP going to be coming through into the next round. I think they're going to be waiting until one of them dies. They're starting to build up that economy. I mean, 9.5k on Mark and 7.4 on Forge. That's a little bit heavy considering Signature is still going to be fully invested into this round. The top person with the most amount of money on their team is Gigs with $550 there. Economy is about shattered as the UK is right now, Vincent.
Did you say it's as shattered as the UK is?
Maybe.
I honestly have understood that. I'm not quite sure if that was intended or I misunderstood it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I said.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I understood, you're right. I love that sense of humor. Your Brits are always kind of suicidal about your own kind of country with the Euro, but to get back to it, NXL, as mentioned, they have the upper hand here. They, interestingly enough, not go for any kind of op play, which I really like in the aggressive setup you can take on Nuke. Going for an outside op as Terrace is always kind of tricky to do, because you always have to peek first, you don't have the time advantage, and it can backfire the entire time. NXL, though, now with the 5-man push onto the HUD, experiencing a lot of pressure, though, as those guys from Thailand... Yeah, in Thailand? God, I'm getting the flags wrong. Help me out, please.
But look at this, the headshot's going to be
Thailand,
coming out.
Yeah, and this is where HUD was maybe not the best decision, because you're always very cluttered, and there comes Signature with that 4-5 lead. And what's also interesting to see about Signature in the international ranking, they're so much above NXL. They're on place number 60, and that's quite decent. Still top 100, still top 60, very close to the 50th place. And there I see that they could have just a way better and better development in the future.
Yeah, I think they can, and that was actually a really nice cleanup from their side, and it was that sort of cleanup there. It was almost as if it was just against the pistol round. They had no difficulty with it at all. They also shut down the push that was going to be coming in from the T's into the Tor outside. Instead of the AWP, he's going to have the M4A4 looking in for those headshots. Instead of going down into a secret, they've rotated up their positions, so they're not doing the same thing over and over again, but fortunately for them, that probably would have been beneficial considering we're going to be seeing the high presence of T's outside, looking to make their way in towards the inside.
Yeah, and especially as Signature now can also achieve 3 AKs, that should give him a lot of help. And as we see, there is only 4 flashbangs there on the board, but this is no problem for Tor, SDK, and Jigs to find one player after another. SDK just needs to realize that there are more to come, and SDK goes out of this with a beautiful free kick and some nice headshots. Yeah, and we're back to the tie, and we're back to the classic back and forth kind of playstyle. Though this time, Signature has the upper hand with the buys and with the economy they have. And Tor does not upgrade to an op, doesn't throw that rifle away.
I think part of that is because they need to try and keep that backflow of cash. Yeah. If you ever look across, they can still buy up if they lose this round, but if they have that AWP on him, that's a big loss of cash.
Yeah, it's a big loss. Now let's take a look at it. STK finds that flame in the right moment of time. The flashbangs are just 2 on point. Giggs has no chance to survive. And this is where you find frags left, right, and center. For some reason, we're back to 2v2. Now this is going to get tricky, but Genius, he finds a 6-5. That was just too quick.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible executing towards the A site. It just really did not work in their favor in the end. So Signature going to be able to take the advantage once again. Like, it's really back and forth at the moment. But we're going to be seeing Signature picking up 3 rounds in a row. Also, the advantage on the economy side because they're going to be able to buy up.
And as you mentioned,
out from Team NXL.
Yeah, and I mean, those deagles can be lethal. Alessa just needs to show up with that, but the legend has to be born, and so far Alessa is not going to be the born legend with the deagle. As we see Tor picking up one of his mates, Forged has not the slightest bit of a chance here against that M4, and now it's just about finding some kind of frags, which does not work out for Soifong, which does not work out for Mark, and only down to Mirsky to do the great ace and to do the great clutch this world deserves.
If you could do it, that'd be incredible. But history says it's not going to happen. Especially when he's going to get backstabbed here and sprayed down by 4 different people at the same time. That's got to be a bit of a horrific moment. A bit of a casting couch moment. But we're going to have the NXL. 2 rounds now behind. They are going to be able to buy them. No AWB going to be coming out onto their forte. It's just going to be a lot of utility. And one of the things coming on, when they tried doing that push into Hut, I think it was like, what, 3 rounds ago? What happened is that they tried using a lot of their utility and it just got countered by Signature, who had very limited utility by that time, but they still used it very smartly. And I think that this round's going to depend on the use of NXL trying to bait out a lot of the utility on the side of Signature, but they are going to be going outside, so this progression could really come in. No AWP on the side of the CTs either. The Tor is here, ready and waiting.
Exactly what I wanted to say. You know, that outside push was more than needed. They didn't do that for too long. They didn't really consider to do so for a while. Finally, we have to full smoke set up on the outside, but Jigsy already gets Mark, and that is the man disadvantage of NXL. With so much time left, you can pretty much do everything, right? You can just come up with this, come up with that. Maybe we go push back on to Secret, but in this time, Jigs, he's on the brink to that flame, but he decides to not make any kind of noise with the metal. And Tor coming in from behind versus Alessa, and yeah, he goes for it. And now a lot of pressure onto NXL, because from everywhere, you'll find Signature players right now, and they're here to hunt you.
Yeah, and I mean, even find that kill, this doesn't even up yet. They're going to have to find the headshots, and it's going to come out Soifong, rather, they're going to be able to find Genius. That's a big kill. He's been doing fantastic. Mirsky, though, in that position, does a lot of damage onto SDK. So that means that whole vent area is going to be closed off. They're going to have to rotate out of it, as they can't push out of just one position. Now, we're going to have the person, and he's going to be down in towards Toxic Rolex. He's really going to be the person they're going to have to count on to be able to really bring this back. Soifong, they're going to be looking to push on towards site. They're going to be able to get the dog.
Oh, Rolex. He just opens the door like it's some kind of kid who's there for trick and treat, says, hello, I got treats for you, and then he just definitely decimates him in a matter of seconds. SDK just wants to deny it, and he does, but he gets fragged from Soifong. That was so close, and that was so tight. But that move from Rolex was just too horrendous and too brutal to watch there. It was pretty much just a dead-on execution.
Have you seen Dexter and the surprise?
No. I'm sorry.
There's a moment where he sort of turns around and says, "Surprise, mother," and then
no.
That's where that mute.
The thing is, my friends hate me for the reason for example, I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I've never watched every Harry. Yeah, exactly. I've never watched every Harry Potter part. I've never watched every Transport. I didn't watch a lot of movies. I didn't watch The Godfather as well, for example. So people, friends hate me for that, and I can understand it partially, but I don't know when and why I should do it. But for some reason, I think I even lost my caster job saying this, but I'm cool with it. I've never watched Star Wars as well.
Yeah, you're done.
So,
community's going to hate you now.
Yeah.
Unless so far I'm going to be able to take down Geese. Getting blinded afterwards. SDK going to go huge. Takes down 2 of the team's players, but going to get traded out by Saifong, but it's not enough. We're going to be seeing Torfon another kill onto Mursky. Rolex going to be coming in. Finds the kill onto Mark. Headshot coming out in abundance here. Saifong, we've already picked up 2 kills. Going to have to pick up another 3 for the clutch ace, which would be rather beautiful to see here, Vincent. Even if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, I'm sure you can appreciate a good game of CSGO.
I do appreciate the good games of CSGO, and it's just not the same. You know, it's always a different outcome, not like a movie. So where they have all similar outcome. And Saifong, I mean, with 40 seconds left on the clock and being pretty much circle out, the chances are just getting lower. He gets Rolex and still survives with a lot of HP, but 2 more to go. Tor as well. And now he will meet Genius, but will he meet his maker? He made 4 frags so far. Just 1 more to go for. And that plant, oh no. Oh, that is, what's the idea was smart, but there's no common idea or nothing that makes sense to go onto a ladder. That just doesn't make sense. If you would have stayed down and vent, but yeah.
It's unfortunate timing. I mean, if he'd stayed there for another 5 seconds, could have been a completely different outcome, but, wow, a little bit unfortunate. What a play, though, from Saifong, rather, my MVP of this half, because 4 kills like he did, and he was playing aggressive. It wasn't like he was waiting for them to come into crosshair. But, I mean, 1 or 2 of the kills he did, sure, but otherwise he went aggressive in towards A, picks up 2 of the kills. We are going to be seeing the flame come out early in towards... I was going to say, but outside we're going to be seeing it come out from aggression, come out from the T side. Saifong eventually get a better kill with the AK-47. SDK just going to be able to shut them down with Mark with the UMP. Down on towards site, gets the frag, but the M4, I think, out of grasp. 2 versus 2. This is a little bit more than I expected.
Yeah, this exactly as you say, it's an XL. The options are there, and that UMP can become very, very useful in that kind of situation as he takes a look onto heaven. But Saifong, no chance. And Mark doesn't even blink. He stays solid onto that point. Now, this is just like that 60 seconds where it feels like you could do the mistake, and there it is. Rolex picks up the 9th round, a good 3-point buffer. Signature is coming into the terrorist side, and now it matters for the Indonesians to come up with anything great on that counter-terrorist. Because, you know, Nuke was revamped, and it's not that unbalanced anymore, but it is still more likely C-decided. Though you have the great options to go there from top outside back into heaven as a terrorist, which can become very lethal if you don't check enough. But not right now. We're going to see Signature going for a classic buy. We see Jigs is there onto the utility. The rest goes for the classic armor. The second half, the first pistol round. There it starts. And now NXL pretty much do or die, now or never, because otherwise this could be just down the drain already.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're meeting head up with them. You can see his crosshair placement is actually below the headshot, but we haven't seen Alessa back him up. Fine, 2 headshots, goes in for the 3rd. His teammates can get taken down, so is he. Rolex going to be able to find another frag, picks up the USP for his trouble, goes down towards B, but his buddy's already there. They've got control of the B site already. No one is there to counter them. There's a player who's trying to push up behind them, and that's going to be Mark. I think he has been spotted out by Rolex. No, he's going to go straight down onto the site. This is the time for the CTs to make the comeback. They haven't got the kit on them either, so they have to make sure to go and pick that up.
And that 5-second defuse would have helped out the team of NXL so much. But Jigs holds the exact perfect angle. Now it's just a matter of seconds till he gets taken down, though. Rolex finds 1 refrag, and it is only onto him. He did 3 frags, and he needs to do the ace for his team if he wants to come up with something. Does not find the headshot. And the USPS, it also is on the NXL side. 10 seconds, and now do something, Rolex, because the time is ticking low. You need to come up with something, and he gets the headshot, Mursky. That is no chance left for the Signature player. Should have not went that way. But 3K onto him. The rest of Signature was for some reason sleeping and not really working out what was happening here.
It was a little bit too close for comfort, though. NXL getting shattered down, even with the double kill coming out from the players over towards ramp. I mean, it was an impressive sort of retake and managed to get down towards the side. Rolex missing those shots, not quite lining them up for the USP or the laser gun, as some people like to refer it to. But we are going to be seeing the partial buy come out, so they can stay around that 2K mark, so they can build up their economy because they got that bomb plant down, so everything counts. Rolex, though, with the Tech 9 and armor, he's going to be the most damaging player here, I'd imagine, unless he gets headshotted, which is nice and easy. We are going to be seeing the push in towards high here, and there's actually going to be a big play against him. A UMP and M4 is going to be playing against them. SDK going to be able to pick up a kill, but Forge returns the fire onto them. So that's the armored player down, but the bomb been planted.
Yeah, that was good. That's good money. That's seriously good money they're getting from this. And it helps them out once more to fortify the great idea of getting a bigger and bigger and bigger economy. And right now, it should be possible when we take a look. 2.6 is there onto STK. Yeah, they can definitely afford something great. And as we see, it's a question now. Do Forge and Soifong come up with an upgrade, or will they still consider to stick to the usual buy they have? They give that one UMP away to Mork, and yeah, Forge goes for them for 4 rifles we have on the board for NXL, and those 4 rifles need to do some massive work at this point, because 5 AKs and Rolex being quite on fire if he really wants to come up with something again. And what I found great if Rolex would be like the new Bentat, the guy who's playing at Tyloo and is one of the most talented Asian guys. I just see that happening because his skill is quite tremendous. What he can do is really great, and I don't know about his age yet, but I can't imagine he's one of those young guys, because the Asian scene delivers a lot of young kind of lineups. Rolex, as we were just talking about it, finds a too aggressive CT in this one, and now it's just about taking time, holding up, and don't make any unnecessary rushes, because that's what usually can break your neck.
Yeah, and what I do like to see is players then just play exactly like they're doing now. Giggs, he's playing against
he's
spotted out a player, takes the headshot, doesn't go in for the sort of the repeat. He actually just waiting for Soifong to come into his grasp. But SDK needs to try and find the straight frag. He's going to be able to do it as well. Playing absolutely perfectly here on the T side, and we are going to be seeing player forwards try and go in for the retake, but unfortunately he's going to get shut down. And because he tried playing it solo, it's going to leave Mark, who has upgraded his gun to an M4A1, to try and clutch this out. I don't think he should even really go for this. I mean, the economy is going to be all over the place. They could try and force it out next round if they wanted to, but we might not even see that come into play. But if he can survive, I'd imagine they will force up. First things first, he's going to have to survive. Giggs doesn't spot him out. He's going to get taken down, and that's going to be another kill on the board. Some extra cash in the bank, but a little bit disappointed the way NXL have been playing on the CT side so far. And Mark should get taken down. Genius. Checking his corners. Pretty happy with himself there.
That's just humiliation. I mean, you just see a little bit of the shoulder. Your opponent does not, and then you finally get that first, or more likely last, frag. In this one, double digits now onto Signature. The team from Thailand can have a great round with this one, as we see NXL only going for the pistols, and Mirsky is the player that will play that kind of end boss role with the armor. Flashbang is onto him as well, and now just play it safe, don't do any kind of dumb pushes, don't go for any over-aggressive peeks and corners where a pistol could stand. And that is the only thing, really, that is pretty much what the handbook says, right? Signature, don't be dumb. Don't go in dumb corners, and then you'll cool. Then you're pretty much cool. And now it's just about Soifong, who could actually just change things up in point of time. Because if the aggression is too big from Signature, and he definitely hurt those steps, then he could find that. And here he goes. Oh, okay.
Signature too tiny.
That looked actually like it should have been Soifong's, but Tor is too fast for him. And now they get all the control to just go on to B and have a relaxing time to find a plant. You know, maybe get a cup of tea like you Brits would do for some reason. And then relax, chill down, and get that 11th round on the board easily.
You know, I'd like to comment on the fact that, I mean, obviously talking about which side is side. Well, actually, before I do that, we've seen the bomb get taken down. He does get the bomb down, so that's Genius going to get fragged down by the CZ, but should now just be a nice cleanup. And this cleanup is going to be happening. Giggs going to be able to find down Mark, find a goal from Rolex onto Mirsky. Anyway, what I was saying, basically, the better teams, they do much better on the T side. It's always the case. We see this lineup of the 9-6 come through quite often, where the better team don't have as good a sort of a defense on the CT side, but when it comes to aggression and doing the executes, they've got that nailed down. And I think that's what we're seeing right here, and also just the position and checking the angles and not playing too aggressively against the they've got that experience, and they're actually playing it off against NXL, who I don't expect to be able to actually win this one out. I think this is going to be one in the bag for Signature.
Should be, and I actually have to tell you why. I've been casting WCA a long time ago, and all the Chinese teams, one thing they can't do is play defensive on CT. For some reason, they're not able to just hold angles and to just go for any kind of great frags when it just comes, okay, you come around the corner, hey, nice free K, great frag. And this is for some reason, Asian teams are not that good at it. They're really good at aggression, and this is why the terrorist side fits them way, way more. And we're seeing it with players like Benton, with teams like Tyloo. It's a little bit tougher for them to play CT because of the reason that they cannot achieve that stability in their own system. They're just really aggressive. And there we see Tor, as we're talking about aggressive plays, finds Alessa, exactly what the terrorist side needs in this kind of time. And no kit? Yeah, no kit on the counter-terrorist. So it's all about frags pretty much, as Rolex has the perfect angle to take down Forge. And here we go into the 3 versus 4, and not even 100 HP in total onto Signature. It could get really dangerous for that team from Thailand.
Yeah, so NXL, are they going to be able to win this comeback? It's going to be very difficult, especially as you mentioned, they don't have that kit, so they're going to play fast. Then we're going to be seeing it coming out from Mark. He's going to be able to hit the headshot onto Genius, looking in for the second one to Tor. They're going to find it! No, Mursky! He's going to be able to get down on the bomb, and that is the defuse coming out. We had that doubt. I had the doubt on the team being able to do this, but nonetheless, Mark going to be swinging his wife around there in his hands. His knife, that is, I'm referring to, which is nicknamed wife. Fair enough. But what a play, though. I mean, 2 kills for Mursky, 3 for Mark. And Mark really coming out in fruition for his team right there. So CT is going to be able to pick up the nice round on the ball for them. But is this going to be to their detriment? Are we going to be seeing the reset come out?
First thing, calling your knife my wife is one of the worst dad jokes I've ever heard. And secondly, I just feel that this could be NXL way to get back into this. Because if we take a look at the money of Signature, if they're taking them down right now, Signature is suffering from a bad economy. They can't really afford a lot out of that. And then you'll see NXL at least getting the tie up and running. But that grenade didn't do too much damage onto Giggs. But what many people don't consider, 85 HP equals one-shot headshot for the M4. And this is what can make the difference technically, because you don't have to dink first. But let's take a look how this will now go forward. I see Forge will push through, but no chance. Too aggressive from Forge. And I've just talked about this. This is kind of aggression that does not work out. You can just hold the angle, but you don't. For some reason, the CTs don't do that kind of stuff. And now we see Alessa on 19, Mursky onto 66, and that could just get very, very tricky.
Yes, it seems like they're a little bit too frag hungry, so Lesser and Mursky are going to be down very low, but it's going to be down to Mursky find this frag. He finds the bomb frag as well, so information is there. Takes the second, looks in for the third, but he's only got 6 bullets left in his magazine. 2 T's playing aggressive, but he's just sitting in that smoke.
No.
And he's going to get found by Giggs, who just sprays into it. And Genius holding this angle up in towards ramp, waiting for them to pop their heads out. That's 2 of the CT players. That's 2 out of 3. The CT player is going to be over towards ramp, but that's fine because there's a 2 versus 3 situation. Giggs pulls out a flash, almost gets his head snapped away, but luckily for him, Cypher's got the Famous, so it would have been just a dink nonetheless. Mark trying to expose his arm, trying to draw out the fire as it were, but unfortunately for him, his body is going to get headshot there. 2 versus 2.
And I don't really understand how it was possible right now for the guys from Signature to get decimated to a 2 versus 3, but as we see NXL, they had all the options to do it together, right? They had all the options to just come up with anything to fight as a team, but they went for a 1 versus 1 peaks, and this is the most horrific decision you could do, and one of the things you should never, when you have to work as a team. Why would you peak 1v1? Why would you not just all circle him up? And this is where it gets kind of awkward. This is where it gets kind of bad here, and NXL... That is the kid that is still there. Not a slight bit of a chance as Genius takes the knife, puts it into the back of Soifeng, metaphorically, of course. And he says, also you, Brutus, if you get the reference of Caesar.
No, I don't.
Sad. It's sad.
I don't know if that's some kind of anime or...
No, Caesar.
Oh, right, sorry. Okay. I thought you said Brutus. Okay, no, yeah, I do get it. Sorry, Caesar, knocked the back, yeah.
Not the
I
salad.
What you said. Just Caesar salad. Wow. What, you feeling a little bit hungry there? But you know
I
what?
do, actually.
Signature a little bit hungry here.
They're definitely hungry for the victory.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to as well. They were playing... They're playing really well. They were actually playing that round like the CT should be playing their side rather than playing the aggressive, which they have done over and over again, and they're going to get punished because Signature have that read. They're actually going to be outside anyway, and this is going to be a very nice, easy sort of snack round here. They're just going to sit back, grab some popcorn, and watch the kills roll in. But they have to be careful because these P250s and the Deagle could do a lot of damage to the economy. It could recover some money and guns on the side of NXL. If you have a look at the economy, it's actually not too far apart. Neither of these bullets.
As we see right now, the NXL side has no big of chance regarding the pistols they have, and that will not help out the team too much because Yeah, those pistols are nice, they're decent, and Oxic Blade here from Alessa could find something. There he goes for Jigs, and I think taking that rifle is more than enough. Anyone off Signature should actually try to go for the push and don't allow him to pick up any kind of gun. Alessa takes it though, and this helps NXL just a slight bit, right? Because the crucial thing is, if you get that round, if you get those back and forth, you can never build up a decent loser bonus, and this is where actually Mirsky still finds something. While jumping, Alessa falls down brutally onto the ground as Tor takes the frag. 3 more for Signature to take that victory home. And the money on NXL is still not that great. It's fine.
It's actually not a bad round. I mean, if you ever look at the fact that, I mean, I talked about the economy, and it's really still under pressure on the side of Signature. They are going to be able to bar whatever happens this round. If they can get the bomb down, fantastic. Double Famous, though, I do question that, because you don't tend to see as many Famouses bought out anymore, just due to the UMPs being a lot cheaper and very efficient. But the Famous does have a bit of more range, and the P comes out. Tor's going to get tagged down to 48 HP, so that is just one Dingarino there on the Headerino. But we are going to be seeing the back him off from the outside, but you can see the CTs wanting to control the outside area. Worked in their favor. Now they need to go for the rotate. They're doing exactly that. The door has a hole in it. They should be able to spot it out. So playing aggressive, that they're peeking in towards Hut is very dangerous, especially against these AKs who can just snap away their heads to push. Side's going to come in. We're going to see the kills come out. Mirsky, he goes in for a massive 2k there. Mark going to be able to pick up 1 against the Genius. Mirsky looking for the final kill should come in, but Alessa is going to be able to beat him to the punch. And that's going to be the round loss for Signature. And actually 2 of the players are going to be very low on economy, only 2.5k. 3 of them rather. Wow.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, when you get your opponent onto double digits and you have to suffer from a bad economy, you don't like that situation because they can build up the momentum and the motivation to come back to this. But Signature, with 3 more, should be more than able and more than capable of finding the last 3 on the map picks off NXL, because otherwise, next one is going to be their pick. And I mean, against a team like NXL, they should be able to easily find all of those frags. Outside control seems to be the case right now, and the aggression, we talked about it. Mirsky goes aggressive. Soifong considers twice to maybe do so, but that could backfire here for that player from Indonesia if he does not keep his eyes open.
The thing is, I think he should actually be able to do a lot of damage here unless Giggs can find his angle. Could be able to see this come out in his favor. If we switch over to him, we can see Mirsky in a fantastic position. He's up behind them now. They don't know where he is, but Tor finds his head. Bada boom, bada boom. That's going to be him dropped, and that was the advantage the team NXL needed. But unfortunately for them, they're going to get shut down, and we're actually going to be seeing an interesting play coming out from Signature. Be going outside, playing aggressive out here, and they're not really going to have anyone who's going to be spotting them out, so the aggression could come in very well here. 3 players going to be going in towards sort of A main, 1 out through Hut, 1 up in towards Heaven. Smoke comes out, but it's only covering part of the door.
This is always the thing that can make the crucial difference right here in STK. Waits for this to happen exactly as he wants to. Oh no, what a kind of whiff is that here from Forge. He had the better angle. He could have just shot through the barrels. And now it is Tor having an even better positioning, which puts it back to the situation of 4 versus 2. It is the bomb planted, and now only Alessa versus 4 players from Thailand. Not going to happen. 14 to 10. And NXL, that money does not speak for a victor. That money does not speak for a great buy. It just pretty much says something, I guess, you know, get some kind of stuff, and we see that right now. Alessa is there onto the FAMAS. The rest should not be even able to get some decent rise on the board. Yeah, 1 more FAMAS. That is squishy, and as we see right now, they're having no big loser bonus, so losing this one will put them back onto the 2.5 kind of brink, and then it's round number 15 for their opponents, so that is going to make it really tough.
I have to say, Tor's definitely one of the rising stars here. It's just his playstyle is really nice to watch so far. He's going to be outside. But he's only got the FAMAS. Seems like the more favorable weapon here. We haven't seen this sort of scout come out on their side, so these angles are going to be quite hard to pick, especially at that. But we're going to be seeing That's going to get taken down by Alessa. Going to be an AK-47 drop there, so that could be picked up. But the aggression coming outside as well from the T's. They have covered up the garage, but it might be a little bit too late. Giggs going to be able to take down Mark. Already, a 4 versus 4 advantage is still in the hands of Signature, even with losing 1 person. It's not really too much of an issue, especially for these guys, and they've still got Tor alive, who really is that key player on their side.
And breaking open that door, one of the tactical advantages you can get here, and now Giggs He has no movement blocks. He can't just go through this, but there's exactly that what should have not happened. Mursky gets kicks early on, finds that frag onto the A side, and those 40 seconds for Signature, they put a lot of pressure onto them, and that is the Thailand team suffering from running out of options, and especially running out of time, because that bomb is Jared onto Tor, and he needs to run. He needs to make a quick kind of move, because it's ticking, and it's ticking. Rolex is pretty much, he's dead, but you know, he's a time manager here for Signature, and this is Forged. Oh, he's getting through, and they're not meeting each other. That could just break the neck off the guys from Signature. Bomb is getting planted or not. This is the thing. 10 seconds.
Oh wow, there we go.
Wow, that is disrespectful. Oh god, this is horrific.
That was very well played. That was like the Superman move coming in.
Yeah. I'm here to rescue
punch.
the day. I'm here to save you. Oh, I'm jumping down and I'm using the UMP at its finest, jumping, spraying, and then you suddenly get down your opponent. This is how Signature do not get the 15th round, and this is how Signature will suffer from that kind of problematic scenario of their opponent might gathering round after round, because as we see, Signature is pretty much on the brink with their money. There's not much more they can afford if they're losing this one, and if that will be the case, then we'll see those guys from NXL having a big chance to come back to this.
Yeah, and I think what we need to see is actually the aggression come out from ramp, even if it is smoked off, and that could have come out there from the player towards the ramp. He was at that, a little bit blind there. Lesser with the Famous did find a kill last round over on towards Rolex, I think it was. And Marky's going to be up and towards heaven. He's got this Famous again. They seem to really favour this. It's completely different from the EU side, obviously being in the Southeast Asia sort of side. We're going to be seeing the hops come out, and Gears going to get tagged, but
his
name is Sideways.
Yeah, he's doing, he's doing sideways. Can you give me some lessons? Oh no, you're cheating anyway. So, that is the classic memes. Unfortunately, we don't have the music there. That would be great. That would be production value. Every time you see somebody hopping, that track setting in, but I'm not going to remake it because it would be cringy anyway, and people would hate me for it. I considered doing it, but I thought it would just make it horrific, and everyone will be like, okay, nice E-Frag, can we stop watching this? But 40 seconds here, and NXL, they have still the upper hand of this because they're aware what's happening. No losses has been made so far, but here comes Mursky, and also the head of SDK has been seen. 3 versus 5, and NXL have options. They have a kid there onto Mark, and just no smoke though, which makes it just a less ninja, let's say it like that. But Jigs and Genius versus 5 guys from Indonesia, a hard task.
Yeah, so Gig's going to get tagged down, but he's going to be able to find a frag, but going to get traded out by less, and it's all going to be down to Genius. Finds the headshot, goes for the second, finds it, but no! Forge going to be able to find the kill and the defuse as well, and he'll be able to pick up an AK-47 for his trouble. What a round coming out from the NXL side, resetting the economy to equal grounds here for both teams. This has been a bit of a distance for NXL to travel, but they're doing exactly that all the way towards Thailand. They're 12th round on the boards. Are they going to be able to make it to the equalizer of 14-14? Maybe even take the lead.
Yeah, and as you say right now, it is actually that kind of problem that we just talked about earlier on, that we just talked about a round ago. Only the tax, only a little of armor, and nothing else there on to the Signature side. NXL can definitely profit from that. Massively can actually profit from that, but it's just that one side take that could work out, and I think ramp would be a great position to push, because you have a lot of wide areas. You can hide very often there behind the boxes, or there onto ramp itself, and this is where the change could just become a key factor. But as we see, Forged exactly where he needs to assist his teammate, who's already through. Unless it gets that one onto Rolex, there's one frag after another happening, and for some reason, man advantage is there onto the Signature site. With that AK from Soifong getting another one. Back to the 2v2, back to 60 seconds, and back to a Signature who shouldn't have an advantage right here.
Back to reality, maybe, as we're going to be seeing Mursky tag Tor down a little bit. So these are both one-shot headshots with either gun, with most guns actually coming out from Tor and Genius. They're going to have to be a bit careful, but they're in fantastic position. They're going to be able to switch up their guns, M4, Famous in hands, flash each, exactly the same HP. Actually looking pretty good for these guys. I mean, they've done a lot of damage to the side of NXL, so even next round they're going to be a little bit struggling to be able to fulfill this. What I'd be interested to see though, Vincent, is an AWP to come out. We haven't seen one in majority of this half.
Yeah.
I think we've maybe seen one, maybe two at the beginning. Apart from that, it's really not really been in fruition. I think that's fine though. We are going to be seeing the push down in towards the B side. Like Mirsky kind of let it get out of control as he has allowed the T's to be able to make this way down onto the site. The peak is going to have to come in, but they're going to go for the full retake.
The problem is it's so silent, the tension is just so big, and both teams know for all of them it's a crucial and groundbreaking round. Signature's Tor keeps up that angle. Oh, he's getting wallbanged. Now it's just about keeping calm and not making anything dump. Because, you know, you're getting wallbanged, that's horrific, we know, but you shouldn't make anything horrific in that point of time. And I don't know what is happening here, but Tor finds there the last one onto Soifeng. It's the 2 versus 3. 2 versus 1, excuse me. And clean. Just very, very clean here. And that is how Signature pick up the 15th.
Yeah, and you have to give it to them. I mean, that's a 4K coming out from Tor alone. I said he was a star player, or at least rising star. But for me, I really appreciate the way he's holding the angles, the way he's actually placing his crosshair, the executes he's doing with his team, the flashes from his teammates to be able to back him up. It's really working out for him right now. And I mean, that round just goes to show Tech 9 armor still strong as ever. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was first properly buffed out and Fnatic going mad on Dust 2, and it's still here going on Nuke about 2 or 3 years later, going absolutely crazy. I mean, SDK, he's going to be looking to try and push outside. Forge going to be dropping down in towards Vent. He's going to be the man between the T side and the site in this position. Hasn't worked out before, so he's going to change it up. One hasn't been held before by the CTs, or not for a long time anyway, so they might have this sort of shock factor. But unfortunately for him, that's a bad angle to hold because they're going to have the advantage down onto him. They would be able to see his arm. And we're going to be seeing Tor finding the kill onto Alyssa. Down, and we're going to be seeing Forge picked as well. So that's going to be a 3 versus 5 situation.
And I think it was really brave for this in the close range here, but as you see right now, the chances are just getting pretty much down to 0. Only there onto Soifeng. If he does not come up with a miracle, he will not find anything more than just that 1 frag. And as we're talking about it, Rolex finished it off, and now we're seeing 16-12 for the Signature side.